Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Cartes. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Hi, I have a fun project for us today. I'm going to try to do a twist on the yardstick swags that I've been seeing. I'm going to use these paint ruler sticks that I got from Home Depot. I've got this cute little sign. I love the orange and teal together. That was a Dollar Tree. My glue sticks, my leaves, some pumpkins. I like this little tubey stuff. It adds a nice little bright pop of color. That's all Dollar Tree. Got my pipe cleaners from Dollar Tree. They found these too. Not sure if they'll go on this little swag or not, but we'll see. And then of course a little netting. So we have a big stash of floral pieces. I even have this that was in my stash. So I'm going to do a combination of stash and new stuff to try to create this little thing that I've seen. So at Home Depot, you can get these. They're over there in the paint section. And my husband drilled the hole for me. And I'm going to get on my little wood shavings. But we're going to use one, and then we'll see what we may do with the other ones. But they come, like I said, packaged in 3. So I'll get this opened up, and then we'll start working on our project. All right, so where we start with this project, we'll get ourselves a little working area. What they did is, like, it'll hang, so this will be the top. We'll center our sign on there. And we'll begin by adding some pipe cleaners. And so some people painted their sticks, some didn't. But I'm going to let this be up, and it just has a real faint white ruler kind of thing on there. And it'll be all covered up with all of our stuff. And so I'm not going to paint mine. I'm going to let it be raw wood, and if I don't like that, then the next time we'll do it a different way. But what I'm going to do is, what they did is they did one over to the side, and they twisted it. They did another one to this side. And they did another one where they twisted it in the middle. So it's a left, a right, and a middle. And then on the next one, they went like 4 inches apart. But what I'm going to do is, number one, I'm going to put hot glue on mine. So you have a choice. They said you have a choice. But I'm going to also, they were doing theirs like 4 inches apart, but that's because they made bigger loops. But with a smaller stick, I'm going to make mine closer. So I'm going to go like 1.5 inches. And so then on the second one, what they were doing, and you wanted to get them pretty tight. I'm just going to go left, right. So with that one, we're going to do ours, yeah. And then we'll do our next one up here, and then we'll do left, right, and middle again. All right. So there's the back side. We'll clean this end up just a little bit once it dries all the way. And then as it's starting to set up, I'm just pressing it just to lower the profile a little bit, letting it get good and set up, and then pressing it down. What we'll do is we'll let this all set up and we'll go back to cutting our burlap. Push these up here, lay this back down here. I'm going to take it and we're just going to pinch, 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 pinch. I think we want to go this way. And then we just put one in each one of our pipe cleaners. I want to get it pretty tight. We may add other things in there. We probably will. Try to get it in the center. So this is just pinch, 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 pinch. And go to the next one. starts to ravel, just let it. One extra. Okay, so that's what we have so far as the base. So then we have our centerpiece that we will attach down in there. We'll leave that on there. So we'll attach this, and then we'll probably put it maybe right there, and maybe a couple pumpkins. We'll wire them in there. We'll have some leaves. We've got all kinds of leaves that we can put in there. We've got some flowers. I think we'll just stick with leaves, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I've got this ribbon and this ribbon to make our pretty bow. And then I'll try to incorporate this orange tubey stuff. So I want to make this orange pop. I want to make the blue pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these, and I'm going to put them on the pipe cleaners for the background, because they're real sheer, so they don't add a lot of color, but just, you know, just a little touch. So let's do that. I always get out more than I need, because I just never know what I'm going to end up wanting. So if you've watched my other videos, you'll see that, especially with this, I'll cut multiple rows at a time. So it's just that sparkle mesh from the Dollar Tree. It's real pretty. Glitter goes flying everywhere, but it is pretty. And then And this right here, you can take this little sticky line off. So we'll cut these two first, and then we'll see if we need that other blue one. We cut a whole bunch. Let's just look and see if we're gonna like it. So what I'm thinking is we will do the same kind of thing we did with our burlap. I want to do the orange on top, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in here. All right, so I've let everything set overnight. I did turn our pumpkins into picks, and all that meant was to the little hole of the tag from when I purchased it, it left a little hole in the bottom. So I just pushed this little stem in a little further, and then E6000 it. And they tend to hold better when I use the E6000 on these sort of things. And we've got our support little stems put onto our sign. So that's good to go. While I was waiting on stuff, I was like, I think I got some lights. So I found these really adorable little owl lights. I had lost a couple of the little backings that help it to hold into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm just going to lightly tack them in with some hot glue. So I've got my glue gun warming up. So we'll do that in just a minute. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and see what we've got with our swag. Go ahead and lay this on there. We want it somewhere like that. And we want to put maybe one pumpkin at the top. So all I'm going to do is go in and take it as far down to the bottom that I can and twist it on there. Here's the one that I missed. I had one extra one. Well, I just found my wire tie for it. So there you go. I think what I'll do is I'll put my, no. Go ahead and put this in. And then as these fray, I'm just letting them because they'll kind of make them look folly. But in the meantime, what I'll do is I'm going to bend this and then I'm going to twist it around that burlap I just put down there. That'll help hold it into place. Just twisting it around that hot glued wire tie or chenille stem. So there's one. We can always glue them in if we find that they need a little bit more stability. Put our sign back on here, so it'll be something like that. So then we can go maybe here and maybe here. back to our little lights for a second, where they can be setting up. I think I'm going to go ahead and just tack a little glue into each one of them, because the only way they're held onto the wire is by this little tiny white cap right here. So I'm going to try to help that to stay into place. Our sign that we put on here. Let's see. Something like that. Let's see what these have dried. Yeah. Move our little webbing. Before I put things on wreaths, I do tend to check. So I'm going to load this with batteries and make sure it turns on. And these are new batteries, so I know that won't be the problem if we have a problem. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make this where it's easy to turn it on and off. So again, I'm going to use these pipe cleaners on the side, and I'm going to secure it. So I'm going to do something like that, where I'm tucking it underneath the sign. And letting it rest on this pumpkin, because that'll be in there pretty good. And then we'll tuck this wire up under here, and then we'll start placing our little owls. Thing that I've been using. So this is kind of a shorter one. They were using like 32-inch long. I think I'm going to do, like, I want to have like a loop like this with a nice tail. So I think I'm going to go 24. And I'll dovetail the ends. Let's see. Let's build it as we go. So what I want to do is just slide it in this little contraption. Actually, we need a wire below. We need a wire in there first. I'll just go ahead and use one of these. So I want my loop to be something like that. Something like that. So then I'm going to just put it on the form. And then these will get curled and all that. So then we'll do another one that size. Push it down. Give it a good twist. And then we'll fluff it. Most of the fluffing will happen when we get it hung, but we can start right now. So we've got lots of little pretty colors going here. I'll get all these loops looped out. And to get the full look, what I'll do is I'll dovetail everything, which means just bringing my two ends together and then cutting a 45. And I try not to cut the wire, just helps preserve my scissors. Oh, I did miss one. Look at that. So I do want to emphasize this color. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to add some more of this real pretty blue in here to sort of play off of our, because what I did is I picked that ribbon to play off this little sign. The color and the sign goes well together. And then what we'll do down here is we can even curl these. I just do something with the wired ribbon. It's really super easy. Do it once we get it on there, but we'll create like a little curl down here. So we want it here. Do we want it up here? I think before we do that, we'll add this orange tubing, because that'll be the other bright piece that we put on here. So by that I mean this stuff. Stuff is easy to work with. It comes in bright colors. I kind of like that. I've got two loops of this. I don't think we'll use the whole thing. We'll use both. So we'll just see. Because see, that'll really bring out our pumpkins and our sign. So when I'm designing, I look at that. What colors, what is my feature, what is my inspiration? And then sort of go forward from there. So I think what I'm going to do is find a place to attach this back here. And then just sort of weave it, getting the maximum amount of color. Something like that. And then our bow at the top. And then we have some leaves that I thought to add to play off our leaves there. And what I was going to do is keep them as two, but just hot glue them in at certain places. Let's see what that'll look like. now I'm going to do flowers next, and then I'll use this to cover up my little mechanisms, the things that I use to connect stuff with. As my tails can just hook up in there, that will hide itself. So let's work on placing. Let's figure out where we want to put them first. Let's go back to this other glue gun. I'm always fighting the glue gun thing. We'll pull that up in there. So I have all of these. I like this little orangey look on here. This does look good. So we've got a single one there. Maybe put a couple big ones here. Maybe some on the side, a couple on the side. And then one even up here. Something like that. And then we can add more leaves. Liking it. So then to make our tails, I think we'll just well, that was just about right, wasn't it? So we'll cut that in half. Do the same thing with this. Don't have to be exact. Actually, I think I'm going to go a little bit longer on these. Just a smidge longer. Where I can kind of cascade down. I'm cutting them in half instead of just cutting them on that little V where it bends, you know, the halfway point, because I'm going to actually, I think I want to put them farther to the side than that. So then to create these, I'm going to put them like this, and I'll let them cascade down. Actually give some glue to help them hold together. Actually gather them. Bend down like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them on the sides. What I want to do is I'm going to make that look a little neater. So I'm just going to wind this pipe cleaner where I bent that over. Number one, will help secure it. Number two, it looks a little better. So then we'll come up in here. We'll find a place to attach them. Right. We'll go see what it looks like on the door and see what adjustments we want to make. We'll probably flip out our bow and fix our tails and all that. Might add some blue down here. So we'll see. All right. Let's go hang it up and see what it looks like. Well, here's our swag. We've got it all done and it's all frou-froued up. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? And until next time, happy crafting!